So I promised myself that I'm going to work very hard to increase the production value of this channel, and and this is still valid. I was even imagining myself now, getting all psyched up for that, like Tony Robbins, and well, I just really wanted to make a video today, and nothing was working. I felt very inspired, and I thought, yes, I am going to do this. And then I got distracted, and it was very late already. So I had to go outside and walk the dog. And now it's getting dark, and I'm just catching like the last minutes of light. The sun is down already. And I'm sitting here in the magical, on a magical swing that has appeared mysteriously, hanging from a tree. So it's incredibly uncomfortable, but it's a magical swing. How can you say no to a magical swing? And there are just days like this, like every time I sit down, something goes terribly wrong. It's like it's been testing my patience. But I am very persistent, and things tend to happen for me when I get really upset for some reason. I have to stop swinging because you're gonna get dizzy. I'll get dizzy. So yeah, I tend to channel that irritation and anger and this self-pity and just feeling miserable into doing something productive, and it works sometimes. It's really worth looking into it. That's why I'm not entirely opposed. Well, actually, I don't really believe into suppressing emotions that are less acceptable, that are less comfortable, less positive, as some people might say. I think there's a great wisdom and power in them if used and expressed in a healthy way. There we go. That's all I have to say. Actually, I thought I went to see my channel, because I think it's been now around, I don't know, I think it's been 100 videos I made since I began, and it has been, I started many times actually, of course, and it was supposed to be a lot of different things, and I had these plans that I wanted to sort out in my head rather than while doing. It's always this perfectionism. That's not good at all. that's really quite it's interesting how the will to really show up at your best can be a completely opposed force, can completely slow you down and limit you. It's quite incredible, really. So yeah, like with these diaries and all many other projects which I would like just start and then okay, scrap that, delete and delete and delete. A lot of things got lost like this, and many times I have to actually fight this urge of deleting everything, like an angry an angry artist who just burns his work. That's that's a thing. I think think it's good every now and then to look into your work from perspective, and that's where I'm heading at. There's a difference, I think, between transforming yourself and taking a new form, consciously even, because we all evolved anyway, hopefully. But there's a difference between that and just compulsively destroying your work because it doesn't meet certain ideal that only exists in the realm of ideas, and which can only be attained by going through this process, by putting this work out there. That's really bloody difficult sometimes. It's really difficult, and it's part of the process, as they say, but how long is that going to take? That's the problem. And sometimes I wonder if that's going to be one lifetime. That's why I am not an upbeat YouTuber. God, that sounds really depressing. Sorry, guys. So I was looking at my channel and what I've to check what I used to talk about and to see. I have some ideas and but I was just looking for something to talk about spontaneously, and I looked at some of my old videos, and not mentioning the fact that, of course, one changes physically, and I always thought that I changed quite quickly. My body tends to respond very quickly to whatever I'm doing, and so there was that. I knew that was going to happen. Actually, I'm really lucky. That's okay. I'm not sure what are the security standards here in this swing. Anyway, so that was one thing, the physical aspect, but also, hearing myself talk was very weird. It was so weird. Like, who is this person? It wasn't even anything negative, like, that would make me cringe. Although I'm sure there are bits like that, but it's just so strange. And it completely blew my mind for a while. I was just, who is this person who's talking? And I've been talking recently about how reading my diaries, it's a freaky experience, because of course there's a lot of pain that I've been processing through writing. That was my medium to process. That was my first, go-to therapy tool, consciously or not, a magical tool and therapeutic and an artistic tool. So of course, there was a lot of emotions channeled there, but to see myself talk was so yeah, definitely I could say that, like, wow, I'm a very different person. And sometimes you say that because there are certain beliefs that change very drastically, and I had some radical beliefs that I wouldn't I wouldn't subscribe to today, and so that can be very difficult to face that it's still you but not you. And then to see myself talk was quite surreal. And I always laugh at that I don't edit my videos because I wouldn't like to just see my face on the loop talking. It's just so strange. We are so used to pictures and selfies and videos and just being all the time present on the media, but that's some surreal shit right there. I don't know, I find it very I often find things that I think a lot of people are very just take them for granted. I find them completely surreal and otherworldly. To see your face on a video might be one of them. Just so strange. So that really made me think, this whole nature of self, of what is this bit that doesn't change? I don't know. Do you? Well, of course I have some ideas. Very weird. So, and this, of course, like the video, the writing, like I would never have guessed how I've changed without having access to these things. And that's why it's so important to have some form of a diary. If you want to do any sort of work, inner work, to have a diary. Not everybody has to. I don't know, actually. I don't know how different that would be. I think that usual writing tends to be more common in any sort of inner work, and yet I don't see why it couldn't be a video if somebody's not comfortable with writing. I'm not talking necessarily about having a channel or whatever, a YouTube and anything that has to be published, but just for yourself as a tool, having your vlog, your inner work vlog. Maybe that could be an interesting thing, if nothing else, to see perhaps how people, the least of these things actually being, becoming comfortable with your image, which is an ongoing process, really, because this image also changes and the way we relate to it. So yeah, I just found the whole thing absolutely fascinating. So yeah, having a magical diary can prove very, very useful in getting some clues on what's going on. I had a little bit of a dry spell, so to speak, recently, and feeling like things are just not happening around me, like something's not quite alive, and I was wondering why, if this is caused by anything I've been doing, or is it just my impression? It can't always be, like a magical fanfare going on around, and that's also not necessarily the point. But yeah, that's been very useful. These are my thoughts for today, and I'll be heading back home because it's getting dark.